On the screen how that correlates with previous years. So it is a little bit lower than previous years. We have seen a little bit of a slowdown in development over probably the second half of last year. That's kind of starting to spread into early parts of this year. But there are good signs. We are getting a lot of phone calls. So people are really getting engaged again on properties. So we're hoping to have another strong year this year. Commercial industrial development is always a really strong sector for us. We had over $97.6 million of investment from commercial and industrial park development. The commercial project with the highest building permit valuation was Sweet Harvest Foods. So that's the building under construction. It's 360,000 square feet, valued at $16.2 million. This is an office and warehouse facility for the natural sweetener business to expand their footprint in Lakeville. So it's a local business expanding here while adding jobs in Lakeville. And then the slide has some other very high-valued building permit finishes, as well as new construction. And it's a variety of industrial, medical, as well as retail opportunities. Residential was strong, but this year we finished second in our total residential permit numbers. We fell just behind Woodbury this year. So we have ranked first for the last 9 years. This year we're second, so we're still very strong and had a lot of good single-family and multifamily permit activity. So we finished the year with 309 single-family units, 58 detached townhomes, 94 attached, and 252 multifamily units. And so that residential permit valuation totaled $144.8 million, and that accounts for 56% of the overall building permit valuation. And I think that's really good to understand that we really have a balance when it comes to what is bringing up these building permits, what the level of investment is in the community, and it's a balance between residential and non-residential. And the average building permit on a single-family home is $294,236. We did rank number 3 in total units. So this year we fell behind Minneapolis and Rosemont. Both those communities had really strong multifamily construction, so it really boosted their numbers. Median home value in 2023 is $446,500. And we have a total of 24,975 households with an average household size of 2.95 people. And this slide behind that table just represents where that residential permit activity is located. And again, very similar to last year, picking out areas of available land, which we're going to be running out of in the not too distant future. Institutional construction was also really strong in Lakeville. We kicked off the Antlers Park redevelopment with all of the new features occurring there last May. And we also saw a lot of progress on the new Highview Elementary. This 100,000 square foot school is under construction and will open up for next fall classes. Hase Arena, they also broke ground on the refrigerated pavilion, and that too will be open for the winter season next year. And Christian Heritage Academy broke ground just in December for their a little over 15,000 square foot addition that will add 3 classrooms and common space for the students. This is a fun slide. It really demonstrates the amount of new businesses that we have across the community that opened in 2023, and it shows a whole wide variety of uses. Medical has been very strong again this year, as it was in 2022. Alina Specialty Clinic was issued the second highest building permit valuation at $10.5 million, and that's just for a finishing permit. For the Alina portion of that large building going up by Target, they're the second tenant along with MNGI Digestive Health in that 100,000 square foot building over on Orchard Trail. We've also had some new restaurants. That includes Baldy's Tailgate Bar, Panda Express, and Jersey Mike's. Several other senior living facilities and childcare centers were also open this year, including Sweet Living, their second facility, so it's Sweet Living Lakeville South, as well as Crystal Cuddlebugs, New Creation Childcare, and Sweet Living of Lakeville. So lots of great activity. And For all of you that participate, we had a banner year with 21 ribbon cuttings. Again, a huge achievement for all of those new businesses that are making Lakeville home. So we're very excited about that. And we also had 2 groundbreakings. And again, just a few slides that demonstrate the different types of new businesses that have made Lakeville home, including the daycares, retail with Bubble Barn, the Beehive, and as well as larger clinic space and very specialty clinic space. Employment is strong at 21,291 people as of second quarter in 2023, and this is about a 2% increase. And then the list includes the top employers, and this is a combined full-time and part-time. So Lakeville Public School, Hy-Vee, Hearthside Food Solutions, BTD Manufacturing, and the City of Lakeville round out the top 5. Unemployment also remains low in Lakeville at 1.5% as of November, and that compares to the county at 1.7 and the state at 1.9. And again, this is another fun slide to really show and demonstrate where all of that activity is occurring across the city. All of the pink is the residential, the yellow commercial, as well as industrial, and then final platted lots, we had 334. So it really demonstrates that we have new investment, either through new construction, remodels, or expansions of a businesses touching almost all parts of Lakeville. One of the things that Katie and I work very hard on in our department is to really promote Lakeville businesses and really promote Lakeville to do business in. We do that through the Thrive newsletter and videos that Katie produces, the Find Yourself in Lakeville videos. We also participate in the Minnesota Marketing Partnership with Minnesota Deed last year, and we're a constant participant with Open to Business, which really serves the small businesses. With partnership of Dakota County CDA, as well as the Minnesota Real Estate Journal, we hosted the Southwest Suburban Development Summit, and this is geared towards brokers, commercial and industrial brokers. We brought them to the South Metro and shared a lot of information about Lakeville as well as other communities within Dakota County, and that event will be held again for a second year, the end of May. We held the annual Manufacturers Appreciation and panel discussion. And then every fall, Katie and I have been taking teachers on a Lakeville Works teacher tour throughout our industrial park. And then we participate in the MNCAR Expo as a booth sponsor. And that's another opportunity to give us face time with brokers, both commercial and industrial. Early in 2023, we learned that our building inspections department received an award. They were awarded the 2022 Building Department of the Year by the Association of Minnesota Building Officials. So this is a huge honor for our community to receive that award, and they're a very proud department. Last year, we also created some new economic development tools to help make the site selection process easier. We did this first with a new business zoning map. So this launched late last year. And the map in the tool really allows someone to click on a parcel, identify what the zoning is for all of our commercial industrial zoning district. And what really is neat about it is if there is a planned unit development approved with that, it shares what that other underlying zoning is. So someone can go and figure that out without having to call staff. They can just find it themselves. And it also quickly links them to the zoning section that they need without having to page through the ordinance online. We also kicked off a new community and economic development website at lakevillebusiness.com, and this is a one-stop location for information related to properties that are available, all of the development that is going on, small business information, financial resources, et cetera. So this is a great tool for existing businesses and anybody who is looking to locate a business here in Lakeville. We completed the National Business Survey with the help of POCO. That survey had great results for us. The business community really gave the city high marks in overall direction, business climate, workforce development, and retention, as well as business growth. We also completed the comprehensive plan, comprehensive housing needs assessment earlier this year, and that really helped us benchmark what our growth for housing and the different breakdown of unit types that we should be looking towards out through 2040. And then finally, we completed the downtown parking study. That really focused on what we need for existing businesses, how we need to accommodate growth for parking in downtown, and what can we do to improve parking in downtown. And that ended up, as you know, really focusing on that west lot that the city owns and what kind of improvements can we make with trail connections, improved sidewalks, pedestrian scale landscaping, and all of that, as well as signage. So we'll be rolling out that plan. Expect to see some of that included in the next CIP. Looking ahead this year, we kicked off January already with a newly restructured community development department that consists of planning, economic development, and building inspections. We also kicked off the rental registration very late last year. We have already over 170 rental registrations signed up. So that program is going very well. The Economic Development Commission is going to update the strategic plan for economic development this year. I'm using some CDBG dollars. And then also with the CDBG dollars, we'll be updating some city hall facilities for ADA compliance. We continue to have acres of land available. Like I said earlier in my presentation, we are fielding a lot more phone calls, even since the new year, in all types, industrial and commercial. So we're very excited about that and very excited about what 2024 has to offer. And I stand for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Tina. Questions? No? Well, thank you again. I just want to extend my gratitude to both you and to Katie for all the work that you did last year and the plans you have for 2024. So thank you.
Thanks.
Moving on to our next report, our 2023 liquor operations report, and I'll turn over to Tana Wold, our liquor operations director.
Mr. Mayor and council members, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to present the Liquor Department annual report for 2023. I'll wait for my report to So our sales in 2023, we increased our sales by 3.82% over 22. Our overall sales totaled $22.8 million for 2023. Our customer counts increased and our sales per transaction also increased. Our total sales were 8% over our approved budget sales totals as well. So our Emporium room, in 2023, we rented out the Emporium room to 159 private parties and community events. We also transitioned the Emporium room to a full on-sale bar. This is going to serve our customers safely and generate some more revenue. And in 2023, we also hosted 61 educational classes for our customers that increased sales by $160,000 over our average sales. E-commerce, this was our first full year having e-commerce. We had almost 350 online orders with almost $32,000 in sales. In December, we ran an online promotion that increased sales to $13,500 in the month of December, and we added over 100 customers. So we will be utilizing this promotion a few more times after this. The liquor fund contributions, we contributed $1.58 million for various purposes that would otherwise be covered by property taxes. The debt service fund was almost $800,000. The equipment fund was $500,000. The general fund was $270,000, and the technology fund was $60,000. Community engagement in the month of March. Our customers donated over 300 pounds of food and almost $30,000 to the 360 communities and the open door food shelves. In July, our customers donated over $30,000 towards the Lakeville Police Department to assist in their purchase of thermal imaging cameras. And during the month of November, our customers donated over $35,000 towards the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program to benefit veterans and their families. We also partnered with the Lakeville Public Safety Foundation and Chamber of Commerce for their annual fundraisers. We partnered with the Lakeville Lions Club for Panaprog, Beer, Brats, and Bingo, and the Craft Brew Review. This year, we partnered with the Lakeville Police Department for their annual Cops and Coats Drive. We partnered with the Lakeville Rotary for their annual Taste of Lakeville event. And we partnered with Dakota Valley Recycling for their Holiday Light Recycling program. We were awarded a top 100 retailer in the United States by Beverage Dynamics magazine for the second year in a row. The Sun Media Reader's Choice voted us the best liquor store in the Lakeville and Farmington communities. And then according to the 2022 auditor's report, we were the #1 municipal liquor operation in Minnesota in sales and net profit dollars. And just a side note, our closest competitor was $7.5 million behind us. So accomplishments, Jessie Rogers, she's our store manager at Kenrick. She was awarded the WSET Level 3 Award in Spirits with Merit. She is one of less than 10 in the state of Minnesota. So that's kind of a pride for us to have in our operation. We also certified 18 staff members with the WSET Level 1 Award in Wine. This sets us apart with our specialized knowledge compared to other liquor stores and helps with our customer service as well. We also completed our perpetual inventory counts with a shrinkage of 0.03% of our sales, and the national average is about 1.6% of sales, so significantly less. We also promoted a couple people this year. We promoted Lynn Tolvstead. She was our full-time lead at Keokuk. She's now our assistant manager. And Roman Tomiko is now our full-time lead at Kenrick. So we're lucky to have them. Upcoming events, our all-manager and assistant manager goal-setting meeting is coming up this week. Our all-assistant manager coaching and leadership training is next week. The Emporium Room is hosting the Lakeville Rotary Blood Drive and Lakeville Lions Blood Drives coming up. The Rotary one is January 29th, and the Lions have reserved the Emporium Room every other month starting in March that they'll be doing blood drives. So annual March food drive will be coming up, and we have numerous tasting events in the Emporium Room. And of course, Taste of Lakeville planning is going on, as always. And that's all I have for tonight. I now stand for questions.
Very good. Any questions? Yeah, John.
No questions. Just congratulations on another good year. And as you listen to the report, it's impossible not to notice the connection with the community. And you're providing an outlet for our community to be able to support some very important and significant nonprofits and charities. So good work on that. And the amount that goes back to our general fund to help finance city operations is also remarkable.
Yeah, I'd echo that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to item 6, our consent agenda. These are more routine items. Is there any further information you'd like to provide, Mr. Miller, on the consent agenda?
Just one item, 6I is a contract to renovate Fire Station Number 4. This is to provide for dorm rooms for their full-time firefighters, their first round that we are hiring that will be starting in March.
Okay, very good. Council, any item that you'd like to pull for further discussion or any discussion about the consent agenda? Joshua?
I'd like to pull item 6D for further discussion.
Okay. Any others? Okay, if not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda except for item D?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion about the consent agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Consent agenda is passed. We'll now pull up United Christian Academy comp plan amendment. And I don't know, Joshua, if there's something you want to talk about or if you're wanting some staff update or...
Sure. So reason for pulling, in my opinion, anytime we're changing the comp plan, I'd like to make sure that we just have an opportunity to understand a little bit more about the area that is being rezoned. So if, I guess my questions for staff were answered via email, but that might be something the rest of the council were interested in as well. So yeah, would you mind, Director Goodroad?
All right. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So your United Christian Academy Foundation has applied for a comprehensive plan amendment to change the land use of a 10-acre parcel. So if you look on the screen, you can see the one outlined in yellow. That's the 10-acre parcel. It's immediately adjacent and touching the UCA property. And they are asking for a land use and a rezoning. So the land use would go from commercial to medium high-density residential. The rezoning would go from C3 general commercial district to RM2 medium density residential. And the reason for this is this 10-acre parcel is going to be utilized by the school for reconfigured playfields. Originally, the playfields were all on the original UCA property. They've acquired this property a while ago and reworked the layout of those fields. So you can see the fields were all going vertically. They've reestablished the layout, so they're encroaching onto that 10-acre. This parcel is currently in the MUSA, as are all of the properties to the west of this. We did have some utility improvements get extended, and that was one of the questions Councilmember Lee had earlier today. What improvements occurred? Water main was extended across or under I-35. Sewer has yet to be extended. So there are a lot of substantial utility improvements that are still required to serve properties that are guided commercial and then the higher density residential to the west of these properties. So those properties remain in the MUSA. This is not going before you with a MUSA extension because it's not connecting to utilities. And so it's really going to take the full UCA development and the extension of those utilities to make the properties to the west developable. And again, we're here tonight because of the expansion of the property and their desire to reroute or relocate some of the fields in a different layout. And so that is the purpose of that 10-acre parcel. I hope that answers your questions.
Well, I think part of what popped in my head about this particular part of the parcel here is that the fields were placed on that side of the pipeline, I think, because there was an understanding that it really couldn't serve commercial use for the foreseeable future. But I think the clarifying point you made was that the water has been extended underneath 35, but sewer hasn't. And so the MUSA plan for somewhere around 2029 or beyond is still out there.
Yep.
Because the sewer is not connected.
Yep.
But I guess that then led me to, this looks like an area for the next comp plan to be looked at, because the phasing, I think, then needs to be changed.
You are absolutely correct.
So, okay. Thank you for answering those for me. Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Other questions? Or other comments? No, I'll take a motion.
Find it.
It would probably be something like a resolution amending the okay.
I make a motion to move a resolution amending the 2040 comprehensive plan and an ordinance amending the zoning map for United Christian Academy, UCA.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Volk. Aye.
Aye.
Bermel.
Aye.
Walter.
Aye.
Lee.
Bye.
Very good. Moving on to item 7 for our esteemed guests here today from Dakota and Scott counties. Welcome, the North Rhine Second Edition. And I'm not exactly sure who will tee this up, Mr. Lexa or? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Mike Lexfeld with Dakota County's Facilities Management Department. So Dakota County and Scott are proposing a new regional household hazardous waste and recycling facility, which we're calling the Recycling Zone Plus, near the intersection of County Road 70 and Jacquard Avenue. Each county currently operates a residential household hazardous waste and recycling facility. Scott County's is located between Jordan and Prior Lake. Dakota County's is currently in Egan. Both facilities are operating above their design maximum capacities, creating stress on those two facilities, necessitating the need to add a facility for both counties. The new facility will accept similar items that are currently collected at both of the recycling zone in Egan. These materials include paint, pesticides, batteries, automotive fluids, household cleaners, electronics, and tires, as well as mixed recyclables such as paper, cardboard, glass, plastic, and metals. Items up for discussion, but no further decision has been made yet, could include appliances and mattresses and organic food waste. Again, those are still up for discussion. The site's convenient for both counties based on its location in southern Dakota County to serve the Lakeville population, and less than 2 miles from Scott County and close to Interstate 35. Both counties are required by statute to have household and hazardous waste collection programs, as well as to meet waste objectives such as the 75% recycling goal by 2030. This proposed facility will help both counties meet the strategies identified in their state-required solid waste management plans and increase proper management in solid waste and increase recycling. And one more thing to note is the Scott County Board did approve the joint powers agreement for this facility with Dakota County this morning. So with that, I can stand for questions. I do have several in the audience who know about the facility itself, 3 commissioners, and our division director. So
Very good. I think, do we have a staff report? Okay. Any questions before Tina's? Okay. Welcome back.
All right, I'll just highlight a couple of things. I won't repeat everything that he shared, but on the screen, just for anybody who might be watching in the public, the property is located just south of 215th Street, north of 217th Street, between Jacquard and then the future Javelin Avenue. This use as a recycling facility does require a conditional use permit in the OP zoning district, and that is what the purple indication is with that arrow. This action tonight also requires a vacation of easements. There is an existing drainage utility easement around the perimeter of the property and a stormwater easement on the south side of the property. These easements will be replaced as necessary with the final plat, which we're anticipating sometime into the not-too-distant future. The property will be platted into one lot from the existing outlot. I'll just highlight a couple of things from the site plan. There will be 2 access points off of 217th Street, and let's see if I can make my mouse work. You'll be able to enter into the site, wrap around the north side of the building, and there's a couple of stops here, and then there's another check-in here that I think the intent is to help customers figure out exactly where they need to go. There's bins that are located in this location for drop-off, as well as customers can circulate all the way around the building. There's a covered canopy here. This building will initially be constructed at 17,770 square feet with room for expansion, and the expansion room is located here. Customers can then drop off materials and exit. If you don't need to make this stop, there is a bypass lane on the outside, and then customers continue to exit. So all of the activity is happening on 217th Street. There will be no access points to County Road 70. The south portion, there's ample parking for required customers as well as employees. And then this access point also allows for truck delivery. This side of the elevation includes dock doors. And so trucks will be able to back in, receive goods that need to leave the site, and be able to exit out without being disturbed by any resident traffic coming in to drop off for the facility. The site is well landscaped around the entire site perimeter as well as the parking lot perimeter. There's also landscaping within the parking lot islands and abutting some portions of the building. So the site will really be well landscaped. It's a mixture of overstory shade trees, as well as evergreen trees. The building is 1 story, a little over 29 square feet, or 29 feet in height. It's a precast tip-up panel with the windows to really break up that exterior and to kind of create that 2-story design. There is architectural metal being used for the canopy that you can see up in the upper diagram with that same metal accenting on the elevation. Again, it'll be two-tone of kind of earth tones to break up and provide interest to that building. But all of the design materials proposed as well as the design meet all of our requirements. The Planning Commission did hold a public hearing on this item at their meeting on January 4th and unanimously recommended approval. And I would stand for any questions.
Okay, any questions? John?
I just, in reviewing the Planning Commission meeting, they talked about reuse materials. Can somebody describe what that would entail?
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Commission members, my name's Dave Magnus, and I'm the Waste Regulation Unit Supervisor at Dakota County, and the current recycling zone is one of the programs that I'm responsible for. The reuse room is basically anything that comes in that is still usable. That's always our goal, highest use. And so it can be anything from paint, household cleaning products, lawnmowers, bicycles, really anything that's still usable. Very popular. We have people that queue up, and our regulars come a couple times a week.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Very good. Other questions? Joshua?
The only question, well, I have two questions. One for Director Goodrow, just about 217th. Can you forecast is that street going to go all the way through to Kenrick at 35? Is that a connection point that might be used for?
I believe so, yes. I don't know if anyone in the room can correct me. I might be wrong. Paul?
I believe it will be extended further, but I don't think it will be extended all the way to the west.
Kind of related to my other question, just about the orientation of the whole project. I was curious how the design was decided for the entry point to be kind of, because most of this traffic is coming off of 70. So how did we decide for that to kind of wrap around to come into it from the south side of the parcel?
Well, from an access standpoint, we wanted the site access was limited to 217th Street versus from spacing guidelines versus having an access right off of County Road 70.
Sure.
In terms of how they designed the site, I would
Because the other part too
defer.
is, am I understanding the north side of this is a loading dock?
Yep, so there are, it's not so much loading docks is my understanding, it's containers that people, my understanding would be able to back up, unload. There is quite a bit of grade change. This is substantially higher than County Road 70. So what I believe you're gonna see is the building versus seeing any of that outdoor storage.
Okay, because I think that's kind of where I'm leading this conversation is residents that are maybe at 205th that can see over the high school towards the this property. Are they going to hear backup beeping from semi trucks going into the loading dock? Those kind of things.
Okay.
Talk about the function? I can try to. Okay. So, Mayor, Councilmember Lee, so most of the work on the north side is residents dropping things off. So the backup beepers would be when the trucks are coming to the building itself, backing up to the east face of it. I'd have to defer to the group on how often those trucks come, but it's not a regular, it's not a daily or hourly occurrence, correct?
Correct.
And then from a traffic flow perspective, if you come in the east entrance off of 217th, the goal is to come in, take a right from 217th into the property, and then not cross traffic that is exiting out. So that's why we came in on the east, exited on the west.
Gotcha.
And I'll let Dave answer the beeping truck, how often that would be anticipated.
Probably less than 15 trucks a week. And the darker gray area is below everything else around it. Those on the north side where we have that zigzag pattern, there's those are roll-off boxes where people will back up and then there'll be a wall and then the boxes on the other side. So probably from that gray area to the top of that wall, 10 feet. Yeah, so those trucks, there's going to be a natural noise break there. I don't know from 205th what the trajectory is.
Sure.
But it's not like we have trucks all the time. 2 or 3 in a day would be a busy day for trucks.
Sure. And I misspoke, it's 210th that would overlook
Oh,
this, not 205th. But that makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much.
Other questions? Okay. Any comments or? Yeah, Joshua?
Well, just comments. I'm excited for this to be a part of the Lakeville community. I think I agree with, we had a conversation before the meeting, just, we have these built up pile of stuff we're waiting to not bring to Egan, since, so it'll be very convenient. And I just think is a needed service that clearly is overcapacity at the other facilities. I don't know that I heard this in any presentation, but I imagine that there will also be some programming that comes from this as well. Maybe, special event drop-off days or things like that that might be promoting recycling in the future, particularly when it's new. But I do think there are a lot more opportunities for folks to take advantage of it when it's in your backyard. So I know we had wrestled with other locations and ideas in Lakeville, but this one, I think, fits it very well, and I'm glad that this is where we landed. So,
Other questions, comments?
I just have a comment.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I would strongly suggest that you get into the mattresses and appliance area. I mean, it's a huge need for this community. It's very difficult to determine, where you're supposed to get rid of those objects at this point. So it'd be nice if there was something local to be able to recycle those items.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll just add, I think this site makes a lot of sense compared to the first one that came to us. So thank you for flexibility. I think it obviously makes more sense to the folks that live in Scott County as well. So thank you. And do we have a sense on timeline? Are we still waiting for some state support? Or you don't have to comment on that, I guess, if you don't want to, but I'm just curious.
Now, what our plan is to complete design through April, go out to bid in May, and then we would be going to our board for award in late May or June.
Okay.
For construction, July of '24 through, I'm going to say fall of '25.
Okay, very good. Thanks. That, I'll take a motion. Dan?
I move to approve a resolution approving the preliminary plat of North Ryan Second Edition, resolution approving the vacation of drainage and utility easements, and approval of a conditional use permit to allow a government building in the OP Office Park District, and adopt the findings of fact.
second.
Any further discussion of the motion? Not roll call, please.
Hellier,
Aye.
Bermel,
Aye.
Walter, Lee,
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Okay, very good. We'll look for the partnership. This is great. Any unfinished or new business, items 8 and 9? Okay, seeing none, announcements. Our next work session is January 22nd at the water treatment plant on the corner of 185th and Ipava. And our next regular meeting is February 5th here at City Hall. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
For a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Or adjourned. Thank you.
Work session is next.